Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitang Tang Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Reading from Bhagavad-Gita As It Is, Chapter 4, Text 14. Chapter 4, Text 14, page 236. Word by word, 236. Chapter 4, Text 14. Word by word. Na Mam Karmani Limpanti Karmafale Spriha Iti Mam Yaha Abhijanati Karmabhi Na Saha Badhyate Namam karmani limpanti Name karma phale spriha Iti mam yo bijanati Karma bir nasabhadyate Namam karmani limpanti Name karma phale spriha Iti mam yo bijanati Karma birna sabhadyate Namam karmani limpanti Name karma phale spriha Iti mam yo bijanati Karma birna sabhadyate.
Namam karmani limpanti Name karma phalasparam Iti mam yo bhajinanti Karmabhir na sabhadyate
Limpanti
Namam karmani limpanti
Name karma phale spriha
Name karma phale spriha
Iti mam yo bijanati Karma bhina sabhadyate.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Nama karmani limpanti.
Nami karma palaspritha.
Name karma palespriya.
Iti mam yo bijanati.
Imam yo vijanati.
Karma birna sapayate.
Vina sabhajate.
Namam karmani lipanti.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Name karma phalespriyaha.
Nama karma palespriya.
Iti mam yo vijanati.
Iti mam no vijanati.
Karma birna sabhajate.
Karma birna sabhajate.
Namam karmani limpante.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Name karma phaleshviha.
Name karma palespriya.
Iti mam yo bijananti.
Iti mam yo vijanati.
Karma birna sabhajate.
Karma birna sabhajate.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Namam karmani limpanti.
Name karma phale spriha.
Karma palespriya.
Iti mam yo bijananti.
Imam yo vijanati.
Karma birna sabhadyate.
Karma birna sabhajate.
Word to word meanings. Na,
No.
never. Mam, unto me. Karmani,
Karmani.
all kinds of work.
All kinds of work.
Limpanti,
Limpanti.
do effect.
Do effect.
Na,
No.
nor. Me,
Me.
my.
May.
My. Karma phale,
Karma pale.
in fruitive action.
Fruit of action.
Spriha,
Priya.
aspiration.
Aspiration.
Iti, thus.
Thus.
Mam, unto me.
Unto me.
Yaha, one who. Abhijanati,
Abhijanati.
does know. Karma be,
Karma be.
by the reaction of such work.
Reaction of such work.
Na, never does. Saha, he. Badhyate, become entangled. Translation. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work.
There's no one above Krishna, a samordva. There's no one equal to him or greater than him, so how can anyone judge him? How can anyone rule over his activities? Who would rule? Brahma is under Krishna, Shiva is under Krishna, the demigods, the sages, time is one of his energies. Yamaraj, death personified, is fearful of Krishna, so who's going to judge him? Therefore, he can't be affected by any activity that he performs. No one can punish him. Even if it was decided by a group, some group got together and they said, all right, we think Krishna is guilty, he misbehaved, and he should be punished. Well, who would inflict the punishment? Who has the power to overcome him in any way? So as Krishna is not affected by anything he does, his pure devotees, as long as they're acting under his direction, they're indemnified as well. They can't be judged, they can't be found guilty, they can't be punished for anything. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, 18th chapter, Sarva dharman parichaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishami mashucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. As long as one is working under Krishna's direction, then he's not liable to be punished by anyone. There's nothing disastrous or calamitous that can happen to him. Then someone may say, well, look what happened to Prahlad Maharaj. He was put into the fire. He was thrown off the cliff. So many horrible things happened. But nothing happened to Prahlad. In other words, Lord Krishna allowed the demons to try their best to harm him, but Krishna protected them. Krishna protected Prahlad. Even it was such complete protection that Hiranyakashipu's sister, Holika, said, I have a benediction. She had received a benediction from a demigod or a sage, some very elevated person, that I cannot be influenced by fire. I can sit in fire and it won't burn me. So I will sit with your evil son, Prahlad. You can see what kind of person she was. What a nice sister of mercy. She said, I will take Prahlad on my lap, sit in the fire, nothing will happen to me and he'll burn up. So Hiranyakashipu thought that was a good idea. So they tried it, but it backfired. She burned up and Prahlad was untouched. So that shows how Krishna is untouched by any punishment or any weapon or anything. And similarly his devotees, his pure devotees are protected. Konteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashati. Krishna makes a bold statement that his devotee will never be vanquished. Purport?
There are constitutional laws in the material world stating that the king can do no wrong, or that the king is not subject to the state laws. Similarly, the Lord, although He is the creator of this material world, is not affected by the activities of the material world.
See what happened? Krishna did so many things in his youth when he was on this planet. He danced with many gopi girls and he played pranks on them. He even disregarded Indra's authority and stopped his sacrifice. Indra tried his best to wipe out the whole clan of Vrindavan. But Krishna with his baby finger was able to defeat Indra. Didn't even have to lift a weapon, just lifted the mountain as a umbrella. That's Krishna. Krishna showed Indra, yes, Indra, you're so powerful. You're very powerful, but my little finger is enough to defeat you easily. And Brahma tried to use his mystic power to defeat Krishna. Not possible. So a devotee should have complete confidence that if I'm taking shelter under Lord Krishna's lotus feet, nothing ill can happen to me. That doesn't mean that a devotee will remain in this material body forever. That's not a very good plan. It means that a devotee will never meet any situation that Krishna is not supporting him in. Whatever situation he's put into, Krishna will be there to protect him. And that means it will be all auspicious. he'll never fall down as long as he takes shelter of Krishna. The living entity has free will, however, the choice to not follow Krishna and not put his trust in Krishna. But then he puts his trust in something else or someone else. Perhaps a demigod, or perhaps a powerful country, or even one's own strength. Then he will fall down, because everyone else's strength, even combinedly, is chuta. It is destined to fall down, but he's achuta. Arjuna describes Krishna as achuta, one who never falls down. He's never defeated. He's ajita. In any of his incarnations, he has so many incarnations, but he never falls down in any incarnation either. He's never defeated. That's Krishna. There's only one. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, never defeated. And one who takes shelter of Krishna, that would be an embarrassment. If Krishna was recognized as being so powerful, so undefeatable, but his devotees were getting harmed and defeated, that would be an embarrassment. So Krishna doesn't allow that to happen. And to prove it, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Bhishma Dev was using all his force and he was planning to kill Arjuna, and Arjuna's chariot was smashed. And in the next moment, Bhishma Dev, it looked as though he was going to kill Arjuna. Although Krishna made a promise that he wouldn't pick up any weapons on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he picked up a broken chariot wheel and ran at Bhishma Dev to stop him, just to prove that he'll always protect the devotees.
He creates and remains aloof from the creation. The living entities are entangled in the fruitive results of material activities because of their propensity for lording it over material resources.
So when people criticize Krishna for anything that he does, they prove that they're not qualified to speak about Krishna's. We were just hearing yesterday, one scholar from Germany was authorized to translate 51 books of the Vedas from Sanskrit to English. But what does he know about the Vedas? He's not a devotee. So how can he won't understand the first thing. How can they understand? If they don't accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even theoretically, then none of it makes any sense. Then you can criticize Krishna, you can say he acted immorally, you can say he was a thief, you can say he was a woman hunter, you can give so many criticisms. But if you take him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is explained clearly in Bhagavad-Gita. In other words, if one learns the preliminary lesson of Bhagavad-Gita, then he can understand the Puranas. Otherwise, if he doesn't understand the first lesson of Bhagavad-Gita, or the second lesson of Bhagavad-Gita, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how can he understand the higher texts? Therefore, Srila Sanatana Goswami, great spiritual acharya, spiritual master, says, Avaishnava makodgirnam putam harikatamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochistaham itapayaha. One should not hear the topics of Krishna spoken by a non-devotee, an Avaishnava. Because just as milk when touched by the lips of a serpent causes poisonous effects, so such discussions of Krishna will be poisonous. Because they're like snakes, full of poison. So one who wants to make spiritual advancement should carefully avoid hearing from such non-devotees when they speak about Krishna.
The proprietor of an establishment is not responsible for the right and wrong activities of the workers.
This is an important point. In another place, in Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says that he says, I'm not responsible for what they do. He makes a declaration. They're on their own. They're my parts and parcels, yes. But everyone has been given their own choice. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not responsible for the activities of others. He gives direction, proper direction, and he tries his best to convince them to behave properly. But if they don't, it's not his fault. You can't blame him. Sometimes people blame God for the evils. Some evil man may kill some others, and so God gets blamed. Why did God allow that to happen? Why did He shouldn't have done that. But there's a whole complex system that explains why things happen in the material world. And some people don't know that, so therefore they blame God. But if they understood that everyone is responsible for their own activities, and what happens to a person in this life was due to his activities in the past. So nothing happens accidentally. It may be a hard pill to swallow. We don't like to hear such things, that we did something so horrible that could cause us to be inflicted with terrible things. We like to think that we're good persons. It's like I mentioned that some years ago there was a famous football player in England, soccer player, very famous, and he died right at the top of his career. He was so highly respected, young man, good looking, all the nice things. The country loved him. And everybody was lamenting in the Great Britain. They were lamenting for a long period afterwards of the newspapers. Just, how could this horrible thing happen? And then they asked the coach, they said, what do you think? How could this happen to your player? Coach said it was his karma. Said he did something in the past. That coach was immediately fired, lost his job. The whole country criticized him as being, how could he say such a horrible thing? He was saying the truth. He had a little knowledge, but it wasn't appreciated. So people don't understand how things work. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita should be obligatory study in every school. How many schools have Bhagavad Gita obligatory study right now? Very few. But everyone should know how the world works, how the living entity works, how material nature works, how God works, how time works, how karma works. These are all important things to know. If we understand, then there's no use getting upset about things that are beyond our control.
But the workers are themselves responsible. The living entities are engaged in their respective activities of sense gratification, and these activities are not ordained by the Lord.
Just like, let's say a football player, he gets arrested for having drugs. So the football team is a little bit embarrassed. It's somewhat a smear on the good name of the football team. But the football team is not arrested. The individual player is arrested, and he's punishable, but not the team itself. That's the idea. Krishna gives good instructions, but he's not punishable for the misbehavior of the living entities.
For advancement of sense gratification, the living entities are engaged in the work of this world, and they aspire to heavenly happiness after death. The Lord, being full in himself, has no attraction for so-called heavenly happiness. The heavenly demigods are only his engaged servants. The proprietor never desires the low-grade happiness such as the workers may desire. He is aloof from the material actions and reactions. For example, the rains are not responsible for different types of vegetation that appear on the earth, although without such rains there is no possibility of vegetative growth. Vedic Smriti confirms this fact as follows: Nimitta matram evashav srijyanam sarga karmani pradana karani bhuta yato vai srijya shaktayah.
Someone may say, then if he's not going to take the responsibility for the misbehavior of the living entities, then why should he be praised exclusively as being so great? They may feel he may not be perfect. Okay, we can accept that. Then he shouldn't expect to be worshipped as being perfect. But no, that's part of his perfection. If you understand the whole picture, the whole plan, it's a perfect plan. And he's not tinged with any of the effects. There's a verse in the Vedas that says that even if one who is very powerful is infected by some, or comes in contact with does something, even if he does something abominable, he's not affected. And the example is given of the sun. The sun evaporates moisture from all over the universe. And even from filthy places, from disgusting places, he takes the moisture. So most people, if they took so much moisture from so many horrible places, they would become affected. But the sun doesn't become affected. In fact, the sun remains fine and the filthy place becomes purified. Apapavidam. The Ishopanishad says Krishna is a papa vidam. He's not touched by any sins. He's completely purified. And also, he's prophylactic. He doesn't become affected by anything. So-called dirty. So the question comes up then, should a filthy person, materialistic person, be advised to chant the name of the Lord? The name of the Lord is pure. So, should we subject the holy name of the Lord to the impurity of the person who's chanting? Yes. Because if the impure person chants the holy name is so pure, it won't be affected by his chanting it or his impurity, but he'll become purified. That's the power of the holy name. There are so many examples. And every day there's more examples because the chanting is going all over the world and people are becoming influenced by hearing the chanting of Krishna's name. And by chanting, they become purified. All the Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhavamaha Devagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidyavaru Jivanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamritas Vadanam, Sarvadma Snapanam Param Vijayate, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. The chanting of the holy names cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated, puts out the fire of material existence. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it gives us a taste for the full nectar of which we are always anxious. That's the power of Krishna's name.
In the material creations, the Lord is only the supreme cause. The immediate cause is material nature, by which the cosmic manifestation is visible. The created beings are of many varieties, such as the demigods, human beings, and lower animals, and all of them are subject to the reactions of their past good and bad activities.
Yes, everyone in the material world is under the law of material nature. And the law of material nature is stringent. Just like if a child contacts some disease, that disease will act even if the child is innocent. Or if a doctor who knows so much about the disease, if he's infected, he'll also be affected. He'll also be harmed by that disease. The laws are so stringent. But the laws don't touch him, Krishna. And the laws don't touch his pure devotees. But everyone else is under the law of material nature, and no one can blame the Supreme Lord, because we're receiving the reactions for our past deeds. When a person becomes very, let's say, a popular singer, he said, yes, this is due to my talent. He doesn't know. He may have performed some pious activities in the past. In previous lives, he performed some pious activities. Now he's getting some of the results. He's becoming popular. But the activities that he performs now that he's popular, that will determine what happens to him in the future. If he behaves immorally, impiously with his popularity, in the future life, he won't be popular. He'll be downtrodden. He'll be unpopular. And he'll suffer. That's the law of karma. So everyone should learn how it works so they can transcend it. Krishna says this material world is like an inverted banyan tree. One must learn how to get free, cut himself free from this banyan tree of material existence. By learning that the real world is the spiritual world. This material world is just the image, the reflection, inverted reflection. It's not reality. It's not what it appears to be. It appears that we can enjoy ourselves here. But we can't, because we're not free from the reactions of this material world, the diseases, the old age, the birth, and the death. We can't stop those things. To some, they think we will be able to overcome them. If we keep doing research, if we keep making scientific advancement, surely we'll know how to manipulate the DNA so it will continually rejuvenate itself. Instead of somehow or other destroying itself, the DNA will make it so that we can live on forever and ever, and we will be able to replace all the organs such as the heart, the liver, pancreas, whatever parts we need to replace, and then we'll be able to live forever. So it seems as though we can enjoy here, but nobody's enjoying. At least they're not enjoying the death part, the old age part, the disease part. And that makes up the most part, because even according to their philosophy, if you only live once, might as well enjoy yourself, have a good time. If you only live one time for 80 years out of an eternity of millions and billions of years, that's not a very enjoyable situation. It's like a split moment. So what kind of enjoyment is that? It's over in a moment.
The Lord only gives them the proper facilities for such activities and the regulations of the modes of nature, but He is never responsible for their past and present activities. In the Vedanta Sutra, it is confirmed that the Lord is never partial to any living entity. The living entity is responsible for his own acts. The Lord only gives him facilities through the agency of material nature.
We say, why is God doing this to me? Why is He allowing this to happen to me? During the Second World War, the women folk were praying in the churches, please let my father and my son and my brother, my husband, come back from the war. But when they didn't come back, many of these persons became atheists, because they don't understand that God is not responsible for the activities, but the living entities are responsible for their own activities.
Anyone who is fully conversant with all the intricacies of this law of karma or fruitive activities does not become affected by the results of his activities. In other words, the person who understands this transcendental nature of the Lord is an experienced man in Krishna consciousness, and thus he is never subjected to the laws of karma. One who does not know the transcendental nature of the Lord and who thinks that the activities of the Lord are aimed at fruitive results, as are the activities of the ordinary living entities, certainly becomes entangled himself in fruitive reaction.
Yes, one should understand what is the mentality of the Supreme Lord? How does he think? This should be a priority. Everyone should be taught to know how God is thinking. Why did he create this world? Why are we here? Why are we living entities? Why is there karma? Why this? Why that? Keno Upanishad. To try to understand. The Vedas are meant for that purpose, so that we can understand how things are working and how karma is working. And then we can get free from it. Just like an expert, someone who's a mechanical expert, he looks at something and he understands, he finds out how it works, he studies the manual, and he studies the manual, then he can fix the problem. He gets trained. So if we get trained and we learn the science, how things are working, then we can extricate ourselves. Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata chaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti sorjana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving this body take his birth again in this material world, but comes to me. So any questions so far? Yes? Here's one. Then after Hasmukh, second.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So you were mentioning that the Lord is not responsible for the activities of the bad things that people does. But how can we understand that He's Sarva Karana Karana? He's the cause of all causes. It's kind of a little, troubling to understand that.
Yeah, that was mentioned earlier. He's the remote cause, but the immediate cause is something different.
Material nature.
In other words, just like if someone creates a computer, that doesn't mean that he's responsible for all the hackers that use the computer to cause destruction to others, or for the misuse of the computer. He's given proper instructions how to use everything. That's why he speaks Bhagavad-Gita. It's like he creates an automobile, or someone creates an automobile, and they provide a manual how to use the automobile. If you don't follow the manual, then they're not responsible. If you come back to them and say, this vehicle doesn't work, and they say, wait a minute, did you drive this vehicle in water? Well, yes. Oh, sorry. We said in the manual, don't drive in water. It's for roads. If you use it in an incorrect way, you're responsible. Is that wrong?
But means the effect has been sanctioned by a higher authority, which has to be the Lord, or material nature, who is working under the Lord. So ultimately He is the cause of all causes. Means
yes, but if He instructs you, if He tells you how to do something properly, wait a minute, we're not done yet, give it back to Him. If he instructs you how to do something and you don't do it, how can you claim He's responsible? That's illogical. He told you, don't drive it in water. I drove it in water and said, He's responsible. You go to the judge. The judge says, why did you ruin this man's truck? He said, well, it's his fault. Why is it his fault? He told you not to drive it in the water. You drove it in the water. Now you're responsible. The judge will say that the person who drove it against the good instruction, he's responsible, won't he? He won't say the person who gave you the truck. In earnest, in good confidence, he gave you the truck, having told you how to use it. You misused it, and now you ruined it. He's not responsible. I think that's reasonable. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. We are talking about no subject to karma. Now, when a person gets initiated, all these past karmas are erased, correct?
Yeah. They're gone.
I'm sorry?
They're gone, provided he doesn't do those things again.
So
if he does them again, then he's responsible. But yes, Krishna and the spiritual master take responsibility for his past misdeeds.
So he's a clean
when he gets
slate
initiated.
Once he's initiated. So anything happens to him after that, something wrong happens, it's not due to the past karma like it would happen to a normal person, correct?
Yes, in principle, there is also another aspect that when one pulls out the plug of a fan, the fan is spinning. When one pulls out the plug, the fan still keeps spinning for a little while, even though it's not getting any power. So there may be still a few little things that happen to a devotee after he's initiated, but the plug is unplugged. Those things are just considered to be the remainder of the momentum, but they're minimized. If you touch your finger to the fan when it's not plugged in, you may get a little hurt, but it won't be like if it was plugged in. So it's minimized to a token.
At one time, Gandhi was asked a question. You mentioned about the Second World War and about all the Jewish people died. And Gandhi responded, well, that's true, but it happened due to their past karmas. So many Jewish people were killed and gassed and whatever. And it happens due to the karma. And a lot of people did not like that answer. And they were upset about it, especially the Jewish community. So, how can you say that, they died because of karma? Hitler is the one who killed them.
Because what?
Hitler is the one who killed them, gassed them. So how can you say that they can die due to their karma?
Yeah, we have to understand that's what I'm saying.
So they were upset at Gandhi.
Yeah, without knowledge, we don't understand how things are happening. If we don't understand how the system works.
So the Gandhi's answer
that
was
doesn't
correct.
mean that a person who commits sinful activity, it doesn't mean that he's not responsible. He's responsible for the misdeeds he's performed. But the unfortunate things that happen to me, I'm responsible for.
So his answer was correct? Gandhi's answer was correct?
Yeah, his answer was correct, of course. But it has to be understood, it doesn't mean that one who performs sinful activity is free from the reactions. No, he's also creating sinful activities by his misdeed.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a miraculous, perfect philosophy that otherwise you basically have to become an atheist. Because it's like someone was discussing that, and he was saying, why do bad things happen to good people? And his conclusion was, well, God must not be all-powerful, or he must not be all-merciful. Either way, what kind of a God is that? It's not a true definition of God, because the true definition of God means he's all-powerful and he's all-merciful.
Krishna promised that he was not going to take a weapon, and he took the weapon, and because he was ready, Krishna was ready to do anything for his bhaktas, that showed that he will violate his own promise to save the bhakta. That's how much he loves bhakta. But there again, there was a reaction to Krishna, right, because of that.
Krishna gets a reaction? Then that verse that he said there, this verse would be incorrect. What was the reaction?
Well, for example, when Krishna passed away, somebody, ordinary person, threw the bow at Krishna's feet, and they said that was because Rama, in a previous, avatar, he did something to, I forgot the name of the person who he did that. He threw from the back a bow to kill him. So that's why
that's not Krishna, from the Vedas, though.
Krishna
that's
saying that nobody is free.
Maybe a story that someone tells.
I'm sorry?
Some imagined idea, but not from the Vedas. Krishna is not affected by anything. That's the statement of Bhagavad-Gita here. He doesn't do anything wrong. Now he may act his pastimes out in such a way to bewilder people to think that it's like that. That's a different thing. That's part of his enjoyment. Just like Krishna, when he came as a child, he walked on his hands and knees. Now, if he's God, why does he need to walk on his hands and knees? And not only that, but sometimes he would grab the tail of a calf, and the calf would pull him through the mud. God, getting pulled through the mud on his face. What kind of a reaction is that? What did he do? What sinful activity did he do to have to be pulled on the ground? You see, his pastimes are not material. They can't be seen with material eyes. They can't be understood that way. Naham prakarsha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita mudho yam nabijanati loko mama jamaviyam. Krishna says, I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am always covered by my creative potency, yogamaya. Thus the deluded world knows me not, who am unborn and infallible. Unless one becomes a devotee, he can't understand Krishna. Krishna's activities are bewildering. Vidambanam. Queen Kunti says, Vidambanam. You appear to take birth, and you appear to die. You have children, you have wife, you have it's bewildering.
Yeah, but didn't Krishna go back to his holy dham after the bow hit his feet?
What's that?
The person who hit the bow to his feet, Krishna's feet, then he left to the holy dham after the bow hit him, right?
Bow or arrow?
Arrow, yeah.
Oh, but
Arrow.
Do you think the arrow of some hunter is as powerful as the arrows that were shot by Bhishma Dev? Bhishma Dev was the greatest warrior on the planet. He was firing his arrows right into Krishna. Krishna didn't die then. Why not?
I thought Krishna was trying to prove that law of karma affects everyone.
No,
That's why
no,
he did
no.
that.
Never. That's why this is a wonderful verse. And it's good that we all came for this nice discussion, because Krishna is making an important point. He's never responsible by the laws of karma. Those are all his pastimes. He's not affected by... How could a hunter shooting an arrow in his foot cause Krishna to die? Is that possible? When Bhishma Dev's arrows didn't cause Krishna to die. And Bhishma Dev's arrows are millions of times more powerful than some hunter. Even today, if someone gets hit with an arrow in the heel, ordinary man, he doesn't die. He goes to the doctor and they treat his heel. It's not a question of death. So this is clearly pastime. All these activities of Krishna are his wonderful, glorious pastimes. But one should understand them through the proper system, through the training of devotional service, through the eyes of the spiritual master, through the eyes of the Shastra Chakshusha, then he'll understand everything properly. Therefore, we shouldn't hear from those who are not devotees, because they'll make up so many stories. They can't understand. Yes?
Thank you.
So I have these attachments to people who aren't devotees. So do I keep practicing Krishna consciousness and these attachments will go away? Or do I somehow try to engage these people in Krishna consciousness? Or
Yeah, try to engage them as far as you can. You can even pray for them if you're attached to them. Naturally we have look at Prahlad. Even though Prahlad's the greatest of devotees, when Lord Nrsimhadev said, ask for a benediction, first he denied, he said, no, I don't want it. He said, no, I'm telling you, ask for a benediction. He said, okay, the only thing I can think of is, could you liberate my father? Father, murderer. Father tried to murder him in so many ways. Father was a horrible despot, causing so much destruction all over the universe. And Prahlad asked for him to be saved. He could have asked for any pious persons to be saved, but he asked for his father. So Krishna, Lord Nrsimhadev said, yes, he'll be delivered. His children will be delivered, his children, his parents, back, forward, 21 generations. So it's natural that we have some affection in this material world. So use that affection, as you said, to try to give them Krishna consciousness. That's the best gift you've got. Nothing you can give them better than to give them Krishna consciousness. Give them Krishna's prasadam, give them Krishna's service, give them Krishna's something. And if they won't accept any of those things, then you can give Krishna your prayers on their behalf. And throw in a little prayer for yourself too, that even though I'm so attached and I know I shouldn't be attached, please give me transcendental knowledge so I realize that I shouldn't be attached to material things.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. You said that the holy names are so pure that they do not become impure just because someone impure chanted them. But you also said we should not hear the holy names or the topics about Krishna from an impure person because they will become contaminated.
No, the holy names won't become contaminated, we'll become contaminated. We can become contaminated very easily, but the holy name can't become contaminated. Even there's a story that one Muslim was being gored by a boar, and he was being killed by the boar. And in Arabic, the word haram means this is abominable. I'm being killed. So he called out, haram, haram. I'm being killed by an abominable boar. What a terrible thing. But haram also means, in Sanskrit, oh my dear Lord Ramachandra. So he was delivered. He became purified by that. Even though his situation was not pure. Ajamil's situation was not pure, but he chanted the name of Narayan, became pure. Thank you very much. Now we'll have Arti ceremony. And next week, is it? I know you'll announce it, but just a quick announcer. Please take a look at these nice, beautiful posters. Next week is Lord Nityananda's appearance day. Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. And you'll see Lord Nityananda on the altar on our left side. That's Lord Nityananda. His appearance day, anniversary celebration is next Sunday, so don't miss it. And bring your friends. Don't be selfish and just come yourself. Bring your friends, your family. Invite everyone to come. There's no shortage of food. Maybe there's some rumor going around that there's a shortage of prasadam. Is there some rumor going around like that? I don't know, because not so many people are coming. I think there's a rumor. So we have to stop that rumor. See you again next week.